the trip, but I gotta low. As they croak, I see myself in the pistol smoke. Fool, I'm the kind of G the little homies wanna be like, on my knees in the night, saying prayers in the street light. Been spending most of their lives living in the gangster's paradise. They've been spending most of their lives living in the gangster's.
I guess they, well, my guys I really liked a lot. I mean, really loved them. Were De Niro, Jack Nicholson, James Dean. Those were my big guys. I guess they played tougher characters. I like those guys, and I still like them very much because they were great actors. That they weren't just they were they just spoke to me. I saw a Taxi Driver. I was 14.
You talking to me? Well, I'm the only one here. Who the fuck do you think you're talking to?
And there was something about, I was 15, excuse me. And there was something about that character, loneliness. It got a little violent, but his loneliness and being disaffected and seeming not part of, I kind of had that problem when I was a teenager. I didn't feel like I was part of the greater group, or, It wasn't like the popular kid. I just didn't feel like I fit in anywhere. I was a jock. I played sports. I was accepted and stuff like that. But I didn't feel like I belonged there. I felt like I was in the wrong place or something. And I felt like that a large part of my life. But particularly when I was just becoming a young man. And there was something about De Niro, especially in that performance, and then in Deer Hunter, that spoke to my feeling alone. Not unable to express how I felt. Mm-hmm. In a way, and I had a really great mother, and my mom is terrific, still is terrific. Thank God she's still here.
Oh, not gonna wait.
And she'd ask me, like, Tommy, what's wrong? And I didn't know how to tell her. I just say, I don't know. I don't feel like I'm good here, Mom. And I didn't know that, but that would persist into my adulthood and stuff.
Yeah, so it kind of resonated with you, that type of.
Yeah, you're kind of feeling alienated and stuff, and it's just it has resonated. Although as I got older, I became better able to handle it and stuff, and not feel so thwarted. And,
yeah.
Acting was a big part of me not feeling thwarted anymore. That I was able to express myself, in a way that was actually fun, and I was just able to connect with people. A lot of the actors I met when I first moved to New York, when I was a youngster, I was 20, and I met a lot of people that a lot of younger men and women that felt like I did, in a way. I could tell.
Absolutely.
So there was a real saved me in a lot of ways. The acting did. It gave me a place to be, and it gave me a purpose. And when I decided I could make a career out of this, it was kind of wild, like, wow, I could really do this and make money.
Absolutely.
So it's just been a godsend for me. It is my character not to quit. If I want to do something, I'm not a quitter. I've not really quit anything important. I've quit on a couple, maybe a relationship or two that I shouldn't have, but my personal things, I don't quit. I'm not a quitter. Before I went to New York, I went to college. I went to Wayne State University, and had a really great undergraduate theater program. So I got a lot of, I'd already had, not a lot, I had some significant praise for, and I was told by some older men and women that taught this and had been out in the world that I was good at this. I wasn't acting I wasn't doing this in a vacuum. Yeah. I had some outside, like, hey, you can do this, you're good at this. So if I hadn't had that 3 years at Wayne doing plays, I'm not so sure that the being those first couple years in New York where you're getting rejected, I was being rejected, not getting the jobs and stuff, and trying to find an agent and stuff. I'm not so sure, because when I think back, I was young too. And youth is a great thing. I mean, I had a lot of energy. And so, and I love New York. When I got to New York, I was like, I just thought it was wonderful. It was coming from Detroit and lower working class background. It was so shiny and bright, and you could turn any which way when you came out of your apartment and go someplace, and it'd be cool, you know.
Yeah, it's a city it's a city that never sleeps.
It really was like that. I moved there in 84, and it was just when it was bouncing out of the 70s. It was kind of bad there. They're bankrupt, and into the the 80s of Gordon Gekko and all the insider channel. There was a lot of money, and the city was feeling good, and you could tell. So I really loved New York. I dug it there. So that helped me deal with the this was difficult. This whole thing, becoming a professional actor, is difficult, and because I could just trip on the city, and I meeting a lot of interesting people, and I just dug New York. From 1975, 74 through 2003 or 4, that 73, 83, 93. That's 30 years, right? That's 30 years. Those 30 years were the best time we've ever had in movies. And
yes.
The best movies, some of our best movies. It was the greatest epoch. Scorsese started it. Spielberg right behind him. You had Adrian Lyne, John Milius, Michael Mann, Oliver Stone, the Scott brothers, all those guys, and then all the foreign directors, Mike Lee, all these just truly talented directors came along, and they were still making movies in the studios and stuff. And Miramax opened that whole world up of independent filmmakers, and you had Quentin, and all those guys came in the 90s, and it was just the best time to be making movies, I think, ever. The internet has made things really different, and
absolutely.
In music, I mean, we haven't had a real band since Radiohead. I mean, a band that broke and was great and kept going. There hasn't been a band. I think Radiohead was like one of the last, for me, really great bands that broke, and they broke in the mid 90s. It was a great time to be doing what I'm doing. When I first started to work, my first movie was Born on the 4th of July. It was a small part with Oliver Stone, and I went to the Philippines. When I was there in the Philippines, it was a little part, but I did my first little scene, and I'm kind of predominant in it. And he pulled me aside and said, "Hey, look, how do you think about spending another 2 weeks to a month over here? I'm going to write you some more scenes. I like what you're doing." So it happened right out of the box. My first movie, I go there, and this big shot director says this to me, and I end up staying. And he writes another scene. He wrote 2, but only one of them made the movie. He wrote another scene, so I ended up with 3 scenes, and so that was real good for me. Good for my confidence. I'm not dreaming. I belong here. Yes. And that's a big step. That was a big step for me. That I was no longer a dreamer. That I belong here, and I really felt like I did, and because he told me I did.
You play like in a lot of movies. You've played like the tough guy, or like that role where you have this very tough persona, right? Was that also like a personal experience, or that's something directors saw in you? Because again, even a movie like Heat, for example, right? Even that one little scene where even when you're going, like when you tilt your head.
I had to get it on, man. He was making a move. I had to get it on.
And you get that guy that look. It's such a like fierce moment, right? Like, so that was something, I guess, that the directors kind of saw in you, and they thought that was a good quality that you had, right? That very fierce persona.
Yes, I mean, I'm just acting,
Yeah, but still, no. But I'm saying, like, because you can play it off really well. A lot of people, like,
I can do. I know how to do that, and but Michael has to shoot it, and it has to be done right. It's a combination. It's a team effort. But
team effort, yeah.
I do know. I grew up around a lot of tougher people. People that fought and stuff, and not myself but I was around. True Romance was just great. All those movies you said. There's if I sat here and thought about it, I could think about certain things that happened, stories, etc. But because of the people involved in those movies, I knew I'm involved with something that's going to most likely be exceptionally good. These guys aren't yahoos. These aren't beginners. These are talented directors and really talented actors. And I'm here. And this is fucking far out. This is bomb. This is where I want to be. And we're undoubtedly going to make something at the very minimum that's really interesting and good, but possibly otherworldly good. There's a possibility of that happening because they've done it before. So it's just a real feeling of, you're in this place where just do your part and you're going to be part of something special.
One of my favorite scenes from Saving Private Ryan. It's every time I watch it, it kills me when you're going up to that guy, you have the gun, and he throws the helmet at you, and you throw it back, and you go, "Son of a bitch!" And you're freaking out.
That was improv.
Yeah, I was gonna say I read about that. That was all improv and stuff. So you
got pissed off. You know why I got pissed off? I don't know what it was. I think he threw his helmet at me first. I don't remember. I got pissed off. I threw the helmet at him. Yeah.
So was that? So wait. So him throwing the helmet, that wasn't supposed to happen either. That was all improv.
No. Yeah.
Oh my God.
I think he threw it first. Yeah. Yeah. It was real cool.
That's awesome. Yeah. How did you do you do a lot of movies improv, or was that like do you prefer? That's
happens once in a while.
Right?
I like a script. Yeah.
Yeah, you like so the way you prepare for movies is you like to because I know a lot of people when they say like they do a lot of improv and stuff. I guess some people like I don't know. You know what? In the stuff I've been in, like the short films I've done, I can't improv for shit because sometimes it throws me off because sometimes you're in the character so much, but like I feel like if you try to improv, it can just go in a whole different direction and it throws that other person off if they're not good at improv, right?
I'm not a big improver. I can do it, and if it happens in the heat of the moment, that's cool. But I don't want to start.
How do you go about preparing for roles, especially like? I'll give you an example. A movie like Heat. Like, how did you prepare for a role like that? Even working with, again, like De Niro, Val Kilmer, Pacino, and then with Michael Mann directing. Like, how did you prepare for a role like that?
I basically do the same thing all the time. I read the script a lot. I got an idea of what the guy's supposed to be like, and talk with the director, talk with Michael, and then really get myself familiar with the world, the world, not just the lines, the world that you guys are in. And then with an actor like De Niro or Val, you just go in, be open, I'm ready to go, and go off them.
Well, for me, the action is the juice. I'm in.
Yeah, you learn.
I do a lot of that. I let in my mind, I would think. I did this my whole career.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to like set the tone or whatever. I would, even if I did sometimes, I would let the other actor do it, and it's kind of a mind fuck. And it's just like, I'm gonna let you tell me what to do, even though I kind of know what I want to do in a way. But I'm gonna let you tell me what to do. So that's the advantage of being in good stuff with good people, because you can rely on them to do that. They're gonna give you the map.
Yeah,
De Niro's gonna give you the map for sure.
A guy like him, for sure, obviously.
He's gonna give you the map. He's gonna give you the map just by being there and being ready. He's gonna give it to you. and you just follow.
Yeah. So you learn from a lot of these actors too, right? You've taken stuff from each person you've worked with, and you kind of, because you just said it yourself too, like, you know, if someone, you know, it's like they're giving you the map to work with, right? So, you know, you're learning off these people, and I guess I'm sure they learn off you too, because like I said, you're great too, and that's what teamwork's all about, making movies. You can tell too in the movies, you guys all have a great time. Everybody you're working with too, even with Keanu Reeves. That scene when you're like pulling your hair and you're talking to him and stuff like that.
He's great. Keanu's great, bro.
Son of a bitch! You're cowboys, you're the real cowboys, right? Batman and Robin. You know what this is, huh? You know what this is, punk? There's 2 keys. Uncut. Crystal meth.
Oh, shit. Special agent in Utah. I'd like you to meet Agent Dietz. Works for the DEA. He was working deep cover until you
think I like this hair, man? Huh? You think I like these clothes? My wife wants me to stay at Ramada. I've been working on these fuckers for 3 months! 3 months! Now I finally got them wanting to play Wheel of Fortune with me so I can find out who their suppliers is, and you fucking cowboys show up.
Nice tattoo, Dietz.
Oh, you like that, Pappas, huh? Fuck you.
Here's a record of your suspect's movements for every day over the last 3 months.
All I want to know, smart guy, okay? All I want to know is how are these guys robbing Tarzana City National Bank on August 2nd when they were in Fort fucking Lauderdale August 2nd? Why don't you figure that out?
It's not an easy thing to do, is it, Utah?
Fucking jerks.
Keanu's terrific, man.
Yeah, he's one of my favorites actually, and it's funny, a guy like him.
I love Keanu. I don't know what people fucking talk about him. Like, Keanu's terrific, bro. He can act.
Terrific guy. Yeah, and acting. Also,
great guy, great looking, great actor, cool.
Yeah,
really
he's one of those guys. Like he looks like one of the nicest guys in Hollywood. You could tell, and
he's the nicest guy in Hollywood. You know, he's a super duper nice guy. He really is. It's not bullshit.
No,
and,
sure.
And he's a terrific actor. You know, he gets a lot of, I don't know, because he did Bill and Ted's, whatever. You know, he was great.
You know, that's how people are. People they base like an actor off one thing they do for the rest of their life.
Keanu's terrific, man.
Yeah,
he's terrific. He's back as big as ever as John Wick. That's great.
I want to go back to that mention about how you recover from your past with the substance abuse, and the reason I bring that up, it's all for good reasons. It's because I know that a lot of the reason is because you have a really good family. I know you have twin boys that supported you, and you know you have a good family that, you know, they basically said to you that, you know, they wanted you to recover because they wanted you to have this second chance at being, you know, obviously a great actor, right, on screen. But you wanted, and what you valued more was becoming a better man, right? So you had different values essentially, and I thought that was very inspiring because I know there's a lot of people that struggle even with anything, right? Whether it's even anxiety, depression, or addiction, anything. What has your experience been like recovering, and what can you tell someone who's going through a similar experience that you had? Like, what's some piece of advice you can give them?
One of the things that needs to be done, I think, with me, I had to do this, was I had to say goodbye to not just behavior, but people. There were certain people that I was friends with, a couple of actors, that, you know, the drugs weren't just fucking them up as much as they were fucking me up, but I did drugs with them. So, and a couple girls, one was a girlfriend, and I had to not just say, hey, I'll see you next week. I had to say, I'm gone. You know, I can't be around you anymore. Can't talk to you anymore. That was hard, and it was really hard. That was the hardest part. Before, for a number of years, I would go to rehab, get clean, come back, and do the same shit. Doing the same people, doing the same shit. I end up doing the same shit then. End up getting high again. And go back to rehab, and I'd hear it. They'd say, well, not just Tom, everybody, you get to change everything. We get out of this treatment center. we highly suggest that you go to sober living for 30 to 60 days while you relocate where you live and move from your apartment or house, you know. And it just seemed like, oh, come on, man, I can't do that. I have a fucking big ass house in Beverly Hills. What am I gonna do? Move where? Sell this $5 million home and all this shit. Or, you know, if I'd been just starting out in life, I just can't get up and move. I don't have that kind of money. You just can't, you know, just go.
Yeah.
So it seemed like I would just like not listen to that part of it, you know, but that was a really very beginning thing they would say to do. You know, you gotta admit you're an alcoholic or a dope fiend, and then ask the God to help you. You know, but then it's this other thing. You got to separate yourself from the people and the places. People, places, and things. You got to separate yourself from the people, places, and things that you used with, that you got high around. And I would just say, whatever, you know, that's something I'm not going to do. I'm going to do everything else though. And I invariably, or always, different type of time frame sometimes, but I'd end up back on drugs.
Yeah.
One time I had 7 years clean, from 97 through 2003, from 95 through 2002. And I was clean that whole time. One little fuck up right before Private Ryan, but not during the movie, but a little blip, a couple days, a weekend. But the other 7 years and change, I was clean. But I didn't change anything. I was just really busy, and I was married, and that helped me stay sober. As soon as my wife and I separated, it was a short amount of time before I was, you know, back with the people, in the scene. So that would be, I can't stress enough how important that is, because when I finally got clean, that's what I did. I checked out. I went away. I left Beverly Hills. I left Hollywood. I stayed in LA. I just didn't go around those places, and I moved, and I didn't call the people. I just did it. And it was hard because it was a whole bunch of my peer group used drugs.
Yeah.
And some of them, most of them, it doesn't fuck up their life like it does mine. But, you know, I'm an addict. I don't use one night. I use one night maybe at the beginning, but in very short order, I'm doing it every day. And that's no way to live. You know?
I think, yeah, everyone's different. Yeah, some people, listen, like, I'm not gonna obviously name names, but I know I have some friends who, not even friends, people I grew up with from high school, and they've gone paths like that. And personally, I've never done any drugs. I was able to just not do it. But I've known people that could do it all the time. They were fine, and they were able to still do their work and still live. Then I have other people who I knew that would do it, even like less than other people, but they couldn't handle it. They just took it in a different way. And I think everybody's different. That's the hard thing. It's hard to gauge, right? Because everyone has different mentalities, how they respond to addiction in general, right?
Ideally, you just don't do them, man.
Yeah,
ideally,
that's the best. But listen, in Hollywood, it's hard because you got so many parties. You're staying out late. You're traveling. It's a hard thing to have a strong mentality to stay away from that. Unfortunately, sometimes, right?
I agree. I like to be social, and initially I like the camaraderie, basically, of certain people I met. But what was really keeping us together was the dope.
Well, Tom, listen, man, I think we're gonna wrap it up, but this was great. I had a great time talking to you today. I really appreciate you coming on today, and you can hold me to me coming to your class. I'm gonna be coming.
Okay, stay in touch, man. To Melissa, okay?
Yeah, thank you so much, Tom. Take it easy, man.
All right, take care. Okay, see ya.
Bye.